understand my frustration. For a lot of people, they want to assume I must be wrong because of the autism thing. Well, autism doesn't make me wrong. Your assumptions of autism don't make me wrong. When I am frustrated, I'm going to be frustrated. If you're allowed to get frustrated, and all of you are, all of you have expressed frustration towards me, most of you, for things that other people did or other people said. Now, I had to deal with a lot of folks who, after they got busted, wanted to do a lot of crazy stuff. Oh my God, he's fuck. You know, here I am. I'm trying to get help. I just busted this fucking wingnut being a wingnut. I'm frustrated, okay? I'm angry. Obviously, I'm angry at that point because I'm being misled, like the situation with, uh, what is it, Kara Johnson Miles, right? Here's a lady who's supposed to be an autism advocate. But is she an autism advocate? No, she's not. She's one of these web wingnuts who's telling me one thing and then saying in these Natalie Bollinger groups something entirely different. Something you might not know about these Natalie Bollinger groups. I was blocked from most of them before they were ever formed. People who want to have opinions and tell me, oh, well, you know, you're doing to me what you complain about people doing to you. No, it's entirely different. You weren't fucking there, asshole. At that point, you are being an asshole. And at that point, you know what? I'm frustrated at you because you're judging me because of something that you weren't there for. Now, then there's also these people who want to say stuff like, oh, you don't look autistic. You don't look autistic. Or then there's the, my little brother's autistic and you're not like him. Do I have to be? If you got two people that got cancer, do they have to have the same cancer? Do they have to have the same mannerisms? Do they have to act exactly the same? No. No, they don't. Also, I'm not sure if most of y'all with autistic kids are aware of how sheltered your kids are, how little your kids know about the world. Now, those of you with low functioning autistic children, obviously, that's a different situation altogether. It is. Obviously, I'm not low functioning. However, there's a lot of folks who want to assume that because I'm not low functioning, I must not be autistic, or because I'm not low functioning, that I don't need help, that I can magically do all this stuff by myself, and I can't because of the label of autism at that point. People want to assume a certain thing about, oh, well, I have a cousin who's autistic and he beat me up when I was 7. So now I got to deal with people's opinions like that. And then I got to deal with people who want to use that to try to, oh, well, he must have killed her because he's autistic. Autistic people are this, autistic people are that. And I'm reading what they're saying autistic people are. And I'm going, no, no, that's not autistic. No, that's not an autistic trait. A lot of folks want to tell me ignorant stuff about how autistic people don't have emotions. No, we absolutely do. You punish the shit out of us for expressing them, so we learn not to express them. And then we have to bottle them in and bottle them in, and everything that goes wrong must be our faults because we're easy to blame. And we get frustrated and we have to bottle it up and hold it in and bottle it up and hold it in. And meanwhile, we've got all these people, like me, for example. I have issues with texting. It's the worst way to communicate. You don't get any of the tonal inflections. You don't get the body language. You really get nothing as far as communication goes out of that. Now, with me and most of us having built-in bullshit detectors, a lot of people will say something and they'll say something and they'll say something and they think if they say it 400 times that it makes it true. Then I got folks who are getting a hold of me saying, well, this person says this and this person says this. Well, did you ask them if they were there for it? Did you? One of the things, these folks who sent me friend requests right after Natalie died, and they were going to help, and they were going to help, and then for 6 years, really the only time they talk to me is when they're fucking drunk and feeling sorry for themselves. And I'm going, well, what the hell? How is that going to help me? How does that bring any attention to this situation? Like, all right, there's a situation with Dan Fabert and Layla Johnson. And of course, he admitted to the situation where he had screwed up. And obviously, I admitted I screwed up. I shouldn't have trusted her. But also at that point, who was I able to get in contact with? There's a lot of details you guys don't want to listen to and don't want to know. You want to assume, you want to run with the assumption, and I try to explain a second time and a third time. By time 5 or 6, where I'm being interrupted, I'm going, what the hell? Even if it's just in texting, I'm going, what the hell? I'm going, all right, this person doesn't comprehend the English language. Their assumption of autism is that I am mentally fucking retarded and don't know what the fuck is going on in my own life. The reality of the situation is that none of these people know what's going on in my life. They didn't actually try to help. They wanted to give me pretty words. And then, I'm sick of that. I'm trying to explain to these folks, those don't help. That's like telling me you'll pray. Fine, fucking pray, whatever, but it doesn't help. It doesn't get you to look at the evidence. It doesn't get you to go in with me to make a report. It doesn't get you to look at this stuff in person. I mean, I'm having to get past your assumptions before I can get you to even listen, and you won't do that because then all of a sudden my predators have been called out because they have been predatory. They have done predatory things, including pretending they were there for things they weren't. When you get angry at me for saying something about that, when you get angry at me because somebody pretended to be an autism advocate, and for months and months and months and months, I went to that person and they were up to no good. And that person's allowed to slander me in court from fucking Texas, by the way, Kara Johnson Miles. But then there's also Layla Johnson. There's a lot of these people that folks knew these people were not who they said they were, and they didn't inform me. They didn't let me know. And the one lady who did, like at the beginning of that, I didn't know if Erin Cockerham was Layla Johnson's sister or not, because that's the first message that I got from Erin Cockerham was my sister, blah, blah, blah. And it turned out that it was something that Erin Cockerham had copied and pasted about Layla Johnson. It turned out Layla Johnson, that stuff was bullshit. But then what happened? I ended up getting a bunch of people saying that I'm a horrible person for calling out Layla Johnson for fucking playing head games. Now, you could just assume that Layla Johnson is right and I'm wrong, or you could listen to Dan Fabert's conversation on the situation. Now, Dan Fabert and we're not friends. Why are we not friends? Because no matter what, he assumes I'm an autistic retard, and any argument must be my fault and I must be wrong no matter what. Well, if you're going to pretend that, you're not a friend. You're making things worse. You're not going to listen to me. You're not going to understand. And of course, I try telling the analogy of if you're not living it, a doctor can tell you all there is about a lower spinal injury, but the person in the wheelchair is the one who can tell you what it's like to live in a wheelchair. Same thing with autism. What's it really like for us? You don't fucking care. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Kind of like when we're frustrated, no matter what, we're not allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to be frustrated with us. You're allowed to blame us for things that we weren't even there for, and we're not allowed to defend ourselves, and you expect us to shut up and go to the back of the bus. Now, it's not just autistic people. There are a lot of different disabilities that you guys want to shove in the same category as either claiming that they're mentally retarded. Retarded means slowed down. That is the last thing that I would use to describe my brain. Much of the issue I have is I only have one mouth. I think life would be probably more complicated, but somewhat easier if I could multitask across multiple mouths. There's just too much to try to explain to people. And of course, when you're autistic, people don't want to listen. When they find out you're autistic, then they want to give you advice. They want to tell you how to think and how to feel. And everybody wants to do this. Like you are too retarded to know what's going on in your own life. And you've got these people who've got these assumptions, and you're trying to be nice to them because you need their help, but you can't get past them not shutting the fuck up. And you can't tell them to shut the fuck up or you're a bad person. Then there's the part where they want to say their part, and then they go off for a good long while, and then they say you can tell your part. And the moment you open your mouth, it's an instant argument. They don't want to hear what you have to say. Sure, they claim that they would. They get their turn and you'll get your turn. No, the fuck you won't. And then we got people who want to come on, and after seeing an argument that they don't know shit about, they don't know where it started, they don't know the origin, they don't know jack shit. Most of the time, it's because I'm having to deal with somebody like Layla Johnson or Kara Johnson Miles, and I'm trying to turn in my predators to the cops, and here I am, these people who I'm trying to go to get help, turning in my predators to the cops, are doing predatory shit. And then Dan Faber, he admits to it, but he never tried to call the cops, never tried to get a hold of them. Also, he's angry because I voiced the fact that he never tried to help turn this stuff in. He knew about Layla Johnson, and he made zero efforts to try to turn it in, just like Shannon Alvarado knew about Kara Johnson Miles and made zero effort to turn it in. All these people with their assumptions wanted to tell me I have to do it. Oh, well, Sean, I sent you the screenshots. That's right. That's right. But did you make a police report? Did you send those screenshots to the police station? Did you post those screenshots in public? And what did you do when you realized people were calling me fucking crazy for posting that, saying I was making it up and that I had some sort of fucking word edited it or something? Fucking, you needed to fucking verify that shit, Shannon Alvarado. At that point, yes, she is mentally retarded. And that's not making fun of her. That's explaining that when you're an alcoholic, oxygen is important for your brain to function. If you don't have oxygen, your brain is going to work slow. It is going to be slowed down. So do I tell her she's retarded? No. But I could. There's a lot of these folks that I did. I absolutely did. They wanted to treat me like I was retarded. I called them retards. They wanted to treat me like I'm a moron. I called them morons. But they're not making the connection between them treating me like I'm mentally fucking retarded for months. Like I don't know what's going on. Like all they can do is text and type. And then I'm like, I'm frustrated. I'm like, could you just call and listen? Maybe? Actually listen to what's going on instead of throwing your assumptions and your wives' tales at me? Because, see, here's the thing. When you're doing that to me, it's, again, another situation where I'm not allowed to defend myself. You're wanting to help me, but then you are throwing assumptions in my face, not allowing me to defend myself against them, and also not understanding of the repercussions for me. If you want to continue running with that assumption, if you're going to run with that assumption, you're not helping. Now, are these people allowed to get frustrated? Yes, every one of them I have recorded on my YouTube and on my Facebook being frustrated themselves. They're allowed to get frustrated. They're allowed. Then, of course, you can see how autism doesn't make a bit of fucking difference. It doesn't, not for me. There's a reason that my predators chose, instead of saying, yeah, Sean's autistic and he has Tourette syndrome, two of which are two things of which that Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and Maddie Boa were well aware of before I ever even went to Virginia. But also, you get a lot of these folks that want to treat me like I must be retarded because I'm autistic. No, I'm very good at hiding my autism when I'm not completely fucking stressed out. Also, autism does not make you guilty. That's the problem. Many parents of autistic children, and most of these, admittedly, they're parents of low-functioning autistic children, but they say they want to help, and then, of course, they show that their assumptions are completely different, and that's not help. It's the opposite of help. Dan Faber thinking that, if he had somebody else do all of the work as far as trying to help me get it to the police, that he was doing a good thing and he was doing a right thing. But we spent how much time on that? How much time believing Layla? And in the end, what happened? And you didn't speak up, I get treated like I must be retarded because I'm autistic. You got to hear that lady when she was walking down the street the other day, and wait, no. I don't know if that was recorded live or if I recorded that on my clandestine device, but as she was walking away, I was explaining to her I was sorry for making a scene, and I did explain to her that as she was walking away, of course, that I'm autistic. It don't make any difference, but it actually does. There's a reason that I went out of my way in my youth not to get a diagnosis of autism. In my youth, I got to see, of course, this is the 1980s, I got to see how autistic people with a diagnosis are treated. And a lot of these folks, they want their help to fix it. Like there's one lady, she wants me to get some sort of free government phone thing and fill out this and fill out that. Are you going to help me fill that out? Or are you just going to send me a bunch of shit and tell me to do it? And if I'm not able to fucking do it, you treat me like I'm a fucking piece of shit who's not trying. No, fuck your phone thing. And no offense. All right, this isn't me saying you're a bad person for sending that. This is me saying stop, please. Please respect my boundaries. One thing throughout all of this, nobody wanted to respect my boundaries. When I drove 1,700 miles to get away from Natalie and Alicia, I'm establishing a fucking boundary there of 1,700 miles. I get to Boulder and people are obviously not respecting my personal space, and that's only one of many boundaries that can be crossed. Now, when there's somebody who wants to argue with me who doesn't know shit about the situation, hasn't tried to find out shit about the situation, well, now we've got 6 years of this. 6 years of me having to believe somebody. Obviously, 6 years that you've been on my Facebook. You've been, every once in a while you send me stuff. You know what? Most of you, I stopped messaging you for a fucking reason. You wanted to argue about shit you weren't there for. You wanted to believe what you were fucking told and not look at fucking evidence. And then you want to fucking argue with me. No, fuck you. Fuck you. You're not going to listen to me because you assumed I'm fucking retarded at that point. When you want to assume that I'm too retarded to know what's going on, and you're going to assume that I'm wrong in every situation, you're not helping, and you're also showing you don't know a goddamn thing about autism. Then there's the mentally ill tag, What does mentally ill mean to the general public? It means school shooter. It means Unabomber. It means serial rapist. It means violent schizophrenic. This is why they used the term mentally ill over and over and over again instead of saying autistic. You guys want to pretend like I'm a bad person for getting frustrated No, fuck you. If you're allowed to get frustrated, so am I. If you got an issue with that, well, you can go the fuck away. Those of you who said that you wanted to help me through all these years, are you sharing evidence? Are you listening to my story? No. When they found Lopez, it was no longer fucking entertaining to you. Now then there's a lot of people on here because there's a resurgence of Natalie Bollinger stuff. Well, why wouldn't there be? There's talk of making a Hollywood movie. There are hundreds of these things worldwide in multiple languages. So yeah, your opinion is not what these decisions need to be made on or based on. When I'm frustrated with you, what I want to do is literally scream at you at the top of my lungs, shut the fuck up. Over and over and over and over and over again. Shut the fuck up. We don't get to the facts because you can't shut the fuck up about your goddamn opinions. I can't get past your opinions of fucking autism long enough to explain what the fuck is going on, let alone show you what's going on. And meanwhile, you're adding to it. And when you get frustrated and angry and pretend like I'm a bad person and want to go out and play fucking victim, well, goddamn, that ain't gonna work. And then you want to throw it in my face, all these people tried to help you, all these people who treated me like an autistic fucking retard. Is that actually help? Saying that they're gonna, did they follow through? Did they? What did they do? When did they do it? That's very fucking important. If I'm turning in fucking people assaulting me in January, and you finally get off your ass to fucking do something in July, you have allowed 6 months of fucking harm. And then when I'm frustrated, I'm going, hey, you know what? I'm glad that you finally came forward. I just need you to understand that do you see what I've gone through for the last 6 months? Stop blaming me. I'm not blaming you in specific. I'm blaming all of you, including you in specific. You could have shut the fuck up instead of being a goddamn douchebag because you assume autistic people are fucking retarded. Happy Christmas.